Hello, it's show season starting. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my Love to Ride competition journal. And of course, what I'm going to talk about right now, you can do it on your own in an empty journal, but I have mapped it all out for you to make it a lot easier. So the Love to Ride journal is specifically, this competition journal is specifically to either journal about your training and your training goals or toward your competitions. And in the beginning, we talk a little bit about starting where you are, a little bit about your riding, about the horse that you're riding, the experience, and then what are your overall show goals and what are your strengths, and maybe a little bit about what you think is the weak link, and then what are we going to do about that. So I give you pages for your personal goal setting and writing about your show goals, your competition goals, or your training goals, if that's what you want to use it for. And then why is it important to you? That why behind your goals is what's going to help keep you motivated to really go on that journey and do those step-by-step things that might, on some days, if it's the weather is bad or it's too hot or you're tired from a couple of days of hard work and you have to push yourself a little bit, we need to know the why. This next little section is just about knowing yourself. So you don't want your goals to be reflective of other people's values or things that other people are putting on you, but you actually want to make your goals related to your personal values and your personal things that you want to achieve. As you develop skills, what other things do you want to develop? Being a rider, what about being that rider is important to you? Your relationship and things like this, the health and the fitness and different practices that you want to start incorporating into your routine and that are going to benefit you as you're moving forward to achieving those goals. So the next part about it is you have a whole 12-month calendar. So you can, pencil in clinics, lessons, shows, maybe even your horse's shoe schedule or the vet coming, massage therapist, things like that. You've got all these months to pencil that stuff in. And then a little bit, and there's no dates on it. You can start at any time. There's also a little bit of space on the side where you can put some notes or you can write some lists, maybe shopping list or something like that. Um, all available to you there. The next part is a series of oh no, sorry, your packing list. You got your packing list there. So you can add to that as you go along certain shows. Maybe we realize that we could use different things. And you might even write on your packing list, when I go to this show, I need to remember certain things that might not be necessary at other shows. So your packing list is a couple pages long and you're going to add to it as you go along. Then what we have here is our pre-show goal. Now, I've heard some people say that this journaling thing is a little bit too time consuming and it's difficult. You do need to plan a little bit of time in your day and in your week for journaling. I promise you that time that you spend doing this is going to pay you back exponentially. It really is, because sometimes as we're getting to shows and we're getting into these stressful situations, we end up making emotional decisions instead of decisions that are really based on what's going on and what our goals are long term. So we don't want to make these emotional, immediate decisions. When we're journaling, we are going to see patterns. We're going to notice areas where we might get nervous, or we might do things that we actually hadn't planned on. We're going to notice if those things had benefited us or not. And then we're going to be able to make different decisions as we move forward, knowing also that we have this time, like this is the beginning of the season. So what are our goals for the beginning shows, as opposed to those goals ultimately at the end when we're trying to qualify things or even ride in those finals. So our pre-show goal is specific to our personal goals that we want to accomplish, and you're going to have a different set of pages for each show. So this gives you the show, the location, and the date. And you want to write down things that are specific to that venue. If you've been there before, how did your horse react in it? Is it something that we need to make that part of the pre-show goal? Is, that my horse is relaxed, and then I'm going to have to spend some time in the next couple of weeks preparing for that particular venue. If you haven't ever been there before, maybe you want to ask somebody who has been there, or look at the layout that they send you. Oftentimes we don't look, but there will be a map or some kind of layout that you can look at before you get there. But you want the pre-show goal is going to be about certain training things. Does your horse need to learn for the first time how to do a new movement in a show atmosphere? Are we working on qualifying? So we're looking for certain points. Where can we maximize our tests? Where do we need to be a little bit more careful right now because it's something new for our horse? And we really want to get that down on paper. And then we're going to make a plan. And it really doesn't have to be that hard. You're not writing down a page for each day of what you're going to do, just a couple of sentences. But what I want you to think about is that rhythm of the week, and then those 3 weeks that are moving toward the show. I want to incorporate perhaps a hack day. Maybe my horse is going to have a lunging day or a groundwork day. Are there days that I want to specifically work on fitness? Do I want to specifically work on relaxation? Do I want to work on transitions? So I'm going to map that all out, and I'm just going to write a couple of sentences. You don't have to say, I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing this, 10 minutes doing that, do the other thing. It can be very simple. But what I do want you to do each day is go back, look at that page, and there's a box you can check that says I did it or I didn't. And if I didn't, what did I do instead? And what this is going to do for you is when you get to the show and some things are working and other things might not work as well as you want, you're going to look back through your pre-show plan and you're going to notice, I had said I was going to do this and this and that, and I thought that would bring me to that result. I did do all those things, so I need to make a different pre-show plan next time because the way I thought it was going to work out did not. my horse wasn't fit enough, or he wasn't relaxed enough, or I didn't know the test well enough. Whatever it is, test riding can be part of your pre-show plan too. That'll help you to know the test. If it didn't work, you didn't feel 100% at that show, you can look back and say, these things worked for me and these things didn't. Or I actually jumped the ship and didn't do what I said I was going to do. And next time I actually need to focus on that day to day better. So that's why you're just going to take a little bit of time to look at those 3 weeks in advance and to try to record just a little bit about how well you stayed on your plan. I have pages for your show day journaling. So you're going to talk about everything from how your horse settled in the stall to taking out for a hand walk or lunging or whatever. How is that going? And are you feeling the results from your preparation? Maybe you also journal a little bit about your lessons or how your trainer is thinking that your horse is doing too. Maybe some of your trainer's observations. And then we have a couple of pages for the show in review. And I want you to sit with this. And I want you not only to write down your perceptions of how things went, but perhaps just a little bit about what the judges said about your tests, what your trainer said about your tests, what your friends or your groom, how did they feel about it, so that you have all those things down fresh in your mind. You can look at that later. It's also going to help you to notice the improvements that you're making as you move through your show season. So there are enough of those, I think, for 9 or 10 shows in the journal. It's nice and big, nice and thick, so you have lots of space to write. And then at the end, just a little bit of space for your how did the year go, or how did the show season go, and then what are we going to look for next year. So I really encourage you can go to my website, carouselcoaching.com, and you can find it for sale there. Or maybe you just get an empty journal. This one maps it all out for you, and I give you lots of journaling prompts and some tips in here to how to create some relaxation and some mindset strategies in here too. But see how this benefits your show season, and then I would love to hear, how did it work for you? So have a great day.